Welcome to the bonus level.
Hello and welcome to level 38 of the bonus level podcast. I'm Jack, and that was a bop. Thanks, Luke Million, for the nice remix there. I am joined, as usual, with me here, Josh and Luch. And if you couldn't recognize the music, we're going to be talking about the things strange and the things stranger. Season 3 came out, last week and a half ago, July 4th.
Yep, July 4th.
And July 4th, I was finished with season 3. So that was a good day. And just so you guys are aware, if you like Stranger Things and you haven't seen season 3, don't listen to the rest of this episode until after, because we're going to be talking about all things season 3, season 1, season 2, and there's going to be a lot of spoilers. So if you've considered watching seasons 1 and 2 and haven't, or you just haven't seen season 3 yet, click off this podcast. This is your last warning. But let's just jump right into it, right? Let's just dive into it. First of all, did you like that song?
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Where did you say you got it from?
It's the guy's name's Luke Million. You can look him up on Spotify. He's an artist, does all sorts of things.
Friend of yours?
Oh, no, not at all. Just a shout out.
In fact, he hates him, but his music's good.
No. Yeah, hopefully giving him credit is enough to, give him the nod there. Since I only played like a second of it from his SoundCloud. Anyways, just because that song is awesome and that remix is tight. Anyways, you guys like the song? It was a bop. Let's jump into it. What'd you think of season 3?
I thought it was fantastic.
Better than season 1?
No, better than season 2, but not as good as season 1.
Okay.
That's the thing, it's so hard to really compare when they happen at different times. Like, I'm trying to go back and think of, like, I remember watching this season and completely hanging on every moment, enjoying every little thing, every little character, that I didn't really have any complaints about it. And so I'm trying to think back to season 1. And I think, and I mean, we'll probably talk more about season 1. So it's hard for me to say. I probably like them equally for different reasons.
Cop out.
Nobody
had to
rank
them.
Their mind, Josh.
If you had to rank them 1 through 3,
I would probably say 1 just because it is the origin story.
Okay.
But at the same time, I love when we're at the point where a cast clicks and everything is much more fun. Which, like, I like where the characters are at. I'm enjoying them a lot where they're at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say 1. Whatever.
1 because the storytelling was better. That's just bottom line. 3 was definitely better than 2. A lot of people did like 2, actually, and I more recently, even Caleb actually said that he liked season 2 just as much as season 1, which was kind of surprising to me because season 2, not that it was a disappointment, but it just wasn't. It just didn't have that like same punch as season 1 did, and season 3 kind of got back to that. I definitely think that season 3 seemed to be a little more gruesome.
Oh yeah,
than season 1.
Oh yeah.
Definitely had its dark moments. That was crazy.
the actual monster, the mind flayer in the flesh, was just, it being like all just like goopy and made up of rats and people, and
The crazy thing, I mean, that wasn't even the mind flayer though.
Well, it was his physical form in the world.
No, it was only a piece of him. It was his minion.
Yeah, it was his physical form in our world.
No. The Mind Flayer is still inside the Upside Down. a piece of him came out. So I mean, if it was like the real, like the whole Mind Flayer was out about in the world, I'm pretty sure it would have been a lot more catastrophic.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. It's not like it was not. That was him. Maybe a smaller version of himself, like you're saying, a piece of him.
It's like a hive mind, right? So like a piece of the hive mind got detached from the brain, got its own entity, and tried to,
bring the rest of it through.
Yeah.
No, right. But it was his physical, like his physical form in the real world, not like a spirit kind of thing. That's like the actual mind ish. But the problem that I have with the monster itself is that it was a lot more, instead of being, obviously it was scary, but instead of being like sneaky, spooky, and like
an alien movie
threat, it was like just straightforward and just like bleh, and just coming right at everybody.
Like 12-year-olds were able to distract it and successfully escape its range while it was staring in the same direction for.
Think about the very first one. How scary the very first one was whenever it got loose in the lab and like the scientists were like running from it and the one guy like thinks that he escaped it and then it was like up in the elevator. You remember?
Yeah,
when they were like he was like trying to get away and he's like nothing was coming and then it was like above him.
But that's what made the first Alien movie so great though.
You never saw the alien until the end. But that's kind of my point though, is like the way that they did it. The Demogorgon in the first one, it was like very stealthy and like it hid and it was, very.
It was always one step ahead of its prey.
Right, like whenever it was like going after Will, right? He like thought it was outside. He's loading the gun, and then it just like appears next to him, and like grabs him.
But the Mind Flayer was just a big hulking monstrosity that.
Yeah.
I mean, the freaking weird tentacle snakes things that came out of its body were pretty.
They reminded me of the mouse from Tremors that are inside the graboid.
I knew you were going to say that. I mean, because of course they reminded me of the same thing. That was exactly what I was thinking.
I thought
they were incredible.
I thought the Mind Flayer was more terrifying, as did just possessing bodies, right? Because those things are just you don't know who's a Mind Flayer minion.
Right. Yeah. Like whenever Billy gets turned and like nobody knows.
Right. And like I feel like that was more terrifying than the actual monster because I mean, like when Billy goes into Hulk mode, right? And like just his, black shit's coming out of his eyes, ears, his veins are, going up and then he's got super strength and is even able to, get
break
past
the sauna window.
Yeah. Like that shit's terrifying. And like it reminded me kind of like World War Z a little bit, right? Like if the Mind Flayer had an army of these people, right, and they're just running at you, like that shit's terrifying.
Yeah, the worst kind of zombies are the ones that sprint,
sentient. Yeah,
right. And just the way that they're able to, like you said, just infiltrate and sneak around. That's always to me been some of the scarier sides of things. Like big monsters and stuff like that, I like them. I think that they're cool, except for the fact that they can be very hard to kill with your normal weapons and stuff. But yeah, someone that can just sneak up on you can be so much more terrifying, especially when they're possessed. So they have like no qualms about just doing brutal, ruthless crap to you.
Yeah, I mean the monster itself was it wasn't really scary, right? It was gross in this one, like the actual physical form of the piece of the Mind Flayer. It was just gross. Whereas I feel like the Demogorgon was more like scary. Like I would be more scared of that than this fleshy thing.
It reminded me of The Thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like how like it would take over bodies and then would like turn into like I had some big Thing vibes and then like again one of the more terrifying parts for me was when they were in the hospital, right? And you got the sassy nurse in the front and then but everybody else is dead with the two douchebags going at it. But then they had like this serial killer trope where like he's walking and she's running, right? Why are you running? And she's just
running,
sprinting away, and he's just walking, and is able.
Yeah, my favorite is when she goes to hide she runs into the room with no exit, running away from
or doesn't decide to open up the window and go down a story.
No, just goes in and then just backs into a corner and lets it come through the thing.
NANI? Right.
That's me.
or then how we were about to have a very important character death, and then but wait, they all take the same damage. The sentient hive mind damage mentality.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
no.
but when they get beat up and black shit's coming out of them and then they melt, that was oh my god.
Yeah, whenever they just turned into lumps of flesh, whenever the rat just exploded into all of them just started.
Yeah,
I was like, oh god, that's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the way that they used one of everybody's favorite characters as the main antagonist? Well, did you like that or no?
What do you mean? So we followed along with a couple different storylines?
No. Billy. Billy was one of everybody's favorite characters in the second one. He's he's the heartthrob. He's the bad boy. Right. And
I didn't know anyone else liked him like I did.
Oh yeah, of course. He's a Australian heartthrob now.
That was right? Josh back in the 90s and the
God, I wish I was nowhere near that cool. If I was that cool, I wouldn't be sitting on here doing a podcast with you two.
Oh my god!
All right.
Love the swimsuit, Mrs. Wheeler.
Yeah, what a sleazy dude.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing. This is the whole moral to the whole story. Was the whole reason that he gets possessed
because he's
and everything is because he's trying to get some strange.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. I gotta say something about
kept it in his pants. Everything would have been fine.
True though. But you know what kind of bugs me about this season, right? So even at the end, Mrs. Wheeler still hates her husband, right? She's still super unattracted to him. I would have liked a scene where maybe a monster was attacking and he saves her, and then she has a newfound respect for him or something. But no.
Oh, so he could redeem himself?
Yeah, no, but he's still
let's just be honest though. That guy is he's useless though. Let's be real.
Yeah,
that's the epitome of that. That's why she's so unhappy. She's the trophy wife, married the guy that had a lot of money just so that she could be stable instead of being happy. The guy that she was probably.
I don't know. I don't feel like it was that way because they're not so wealthy.
Yeah, I think back in that time frame, I think they were pretty well off.
No, I mean they're still middle class because we got to see because you see the trophy wife is the girl that's married to the mayor or dating the mayor.
That's a different level though. I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm talking
that's
about.
What I'm saying. No one does trophy wife to get into suburbia middle class.
You do if you want stability. Because that guy's he's probably got a 9-to-5 Monday through Friday job, probably makes real good money at some sort of engineering plant or whatever. But he's
he's definitely an accountant.
Super nerd, doesn't, super quirky.
I think they did have something going on, though. In the past, right? Maybe they were two different people and they really did have, super mad feelings, but then he just got used to day-to-day life and
yeah, he's not exciting. Yeah, but he takes care of the kids and everything like that. But he also just doesn't. He doesn't try at all. In season 1, he's sitting there at the table, and then they start fighting, and Will or Mike and Nancy start fighting each other, whatever, and then the mom's fighting, and then the little baby starts crying, and then she stands up off from the table and she's enjoy your dinner, and he's what did I do? He just doesn't care. He just doesn't step in to correct anybody or be the dad or anything like that. He's just what did I do?
Yeah,
but
then no redemption though. Just he's still his
kids
white suburban dad
are running around his kids are running around with an alien. His kid and his friends are all running around with another kid that has superpowers. His daughter is sleeping with dudes at somebody else's house with a pool, then letting somebody else stay.
20 now or something, 20 or 21 now.
Not in season 1, they weren't.
Oh, okay, sorry.
He has no clue what's going on. He's just completely oblivious to everything. He's oh, what?
Right. You're looking to be fair, the only parent that knows is Will's mom.
Yeah, but after season 1, you'd think the town is in like, got to be in national news after that. I mean, I realized they like probably covered a lot of stuff up, but like all the townspeople would know what was going on. Hopper and
yeah,
Joyce.
I mean, they did cover it. I think they did a news segment on the last season, but they covered it up, saying it was just like a mayor scandal or something like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the townspeople themselves would know. People would be talking to Hopper and Joyce and Will.
What I hope is that there's still sleeper agents around.
Sleeper agents for what?
The Mind Flayer.
Oh. No.
Because remember, they only get activated. So like, because again, like, even though the portal's closed, right? Technically, life forms can come through, right? Like the Demigorgon was able to make it, and then once that was closed, the little baby Demigorgon survived, right?
Yeah.
So like, I'm hoping that the little slug things that try to infest L is maybe in a couple more people that are waiting to pop out.
You guys didn't really answer my question though. Did you like the fact that they used a main character as the protagonist?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so they turn Billy into like you're like rooting for him. Everybody's rooting for him because he's like this new loved character, bad boy, and then there's like, oh, he's actually a bad guy.
I mean, it makes it more impactful if it's a main character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but like I said, I mean, just as far as like who Billy was, and I mean, like even when he was introduced in season 2, as cool as he was, he still always came off as a dick. So you never like really embraced him in the same way that like if we've seen Steve go through this giant character arc from season 1 to 2 to 3. If Steve, something happened and he all of a sudden had to be the bad guy, I think it would have been a little bit different, than what Billy was. I think Billy
would you have liked it as much?
I don't know. I mean, because it would have had to play out so differently that I don't know. Because Steve played such a big role in the season that you're talking about rewriting an entire character.
But the thing is like, I think it had to have been Billy. Like Steve doesn't have any other connection to the people other than being friends.
Yeah.
I mean, Billy had Max, as a half sister, which created some tension there. And then they were able to prod it a little bit more because Max was his sister and they wanted to know more. And only she knew if he was acting, any different or whatnot. So like, and if it was Steve, like, there's his ex-girlfriend, but other than that, he doesn't really like, do we even see his family?
No.
So like there's nothing connecting him other than the fact that his best friends are, 10 years younger.
I was gonna say his best friends are kids.
Yeah.
I mean, technically if we were 10 years back, that would pretty much be us.
Right now, I would be Steve. I would be baby.
You would be Steve. We would be coming to visit you at Scoops Ahoy.
Mm-hmm. Except for it would have been Movie Gallery.
Yeah.
You would have been coming to rent movies. The little goof troop.
And that's me. I worked at the water park. You guys could have came and saw me at the water park. I would have got your free pizza.
So funny.
Oh, dude, that would have been dope.
Right?
That's so funny.
Right?
So Steve was so can I complain about Steve for a second? Because Steve's my favorite character. But why did they do my boy like that?
You mean make his love interest a lesbian?
Well, no. Speaking of that, actually, that's funny because I 100% called that from the first episode.
Yeah,
dude, of course.
As soon as I saw him and her, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So he has a new love interest, but and then I literally turned to Nicole and I was like, he's gonna end up liking her, even though he like pretends to hate her right now. But she's gonna be a lesbian, I promise. And sure enough, she ended up liking girls.
I mean, towards the end, it kind of looked like in the next season, she might get some, romantic feelings for him. Maybe.
Are you saying that they have a choice?
She could be bi.
Sorry, I'm just trying to be controversial.
That or the fact that no one can resist Steve.
That's right.
That luscious hair.
That's right. Steve the hair.
That's what Jack used to look like.
That's somewhat true. No. Why'd they do my boy like that? Why'd they have him dress in a sailor outfit the entire season? He didn't even get the change.
Like,
huh?
Oh my God. Do you know what really struck me at the core though about fucking Scoops Ahoy? Because like I worked at an ice cream shop and I worked at Dunkin' Donuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That fucking what's her name sister, the little girl.
Oh yeah,
up at the counter, ding.
mm-hmm. Can I try this? Can I try this? I want to try.
Oh my god, that
this.
struck me in the heart because I'm like, oh my god, I know what he's going through. This is the worst shit in the world. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, you can't get any samples. Why not?
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes writing, the way that things are written, you have to remember that certain things are put in for reasons other than writing itself, and more for like political, like standard.
You mean the fact how it seemed like there was no managerial staff there, and they were the only two people who worked there. So of course they were 100%
access
to the back completely.
100%. There's no upper management or anything else. They were the only two employees. They actually physically owned Scoops Ahoy. There was nobody to report to. They like bought the franchise after high school somehow.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of other things going on there. There's a lot of political statements, feminist statements, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh my god, I don't even want to get into that.
No,
to be honest,
we don't have to. I'm just saying that like that's what you have to remember when you're watching, shows, especially nowadays. Everything has to be PC. Everything has to be, it has to make sense. It has to not offend, and then that actually brings up another topic. I don't know if you guys heard, but season 4, they're toning down the smoking because it offended people how much they show smoking throughout the first 3 seasons.
But that was the 80s, dude. Like that.
No, yeah. I'm sorry. You just don't understand. It's offensive, and it's appropriating smoking culture to our youth and to the citizens watching and taking in this entertainment. I'm sorry, but it's offensive, and you need to cut out so much smoking.
This is going to be good for Hopper.
You can swear. You can swear as much as you want, and you can do all kinds of right. things like that. But smoking though, gotta go.
I mean, I've just heard though when you're smoking on a movie set or in a movie and stuff like that because they have to reshoot clips so much that you're basically chain smoking a pack for each clip that you're doing. So it's like I would almost guarantee because of how much he smokes in the show that he goes through a carton a day trying to do.
I mean, they don't have to be real cigarettes either. They could be like
fake ones, the vapor ones,
fake vapor ones. You never know. But it's like, and I'm like,
that's silly.
And I'm like, oh no, what? As soon as she gets in the car and is like getting ready, she's like, you don't understand what these guys are like. And I'm like, oh no.
Yep.
Comes inside. Hey, every single one in there has to be a patronizing douchebag.
In the paper, like every single male in there is like your stereotypical like male in an office gonna treat the woman with like
white male
disrespect. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean I feel like what the show does in a lot of ways is it takes parts from that time period and amplifies it. And that's what's made a lot of different things fun.
Correct. And
is the amplification of some of the themes from the 80s. And one of those things was the fact that women had no respect in the workforce, and therefore, they're over exaggerating it.
Yeah, but those guys were like abusive, like, to a past, a pretty.
Like, I don't think if any of us worked there that we would have stood around for that kind of stuff, especially if like your girlfriend worked there and you knew that she was being treated that way.
Yeah, why was he so passive about it? Oh, you just gotta let it go. I told you not to go in there. Told you not to.
Well, I mean, like you said, you just wouldn't understand because he has to pay the bills because his dad's a deadbeat, and so sometimes you just got to shut up and put your head down and go to work. But yeah, I think any of us at this point would have a huge problem if any significant other ever had to deal with that kind of stuff at work. We would immediately be like, "What?"
Yeah, but they like upplayed that and then like downplayed the smoking. So like, I would like to see an actual like Stranger Things 1 did a great way of making it feel like the 80s, right? They did a great job of making it